The past 3 years have been pivotal in the history of UCT. We witnessed the politics of spectacle being used to advocate for there to be structural and cultural change.
I think this commission should be spread around more as they strive to, bring everyone together.
I think the university is at a crossroads in very much the same way that South Africa was at the time of the TRC.
The first stage of the IRTC process involved dealing with the amnesties for students who had been given clemency. The second part, which is the part that we are starting on now, is really the meat of the IRTC.
The University of Cape Town is a very huge community, a very diverse community, so to have to bring everyone together for such an important process, important as it is quite difficult.
I think the IRTC is an important process, particularly for white South Africans of sort of the millennial generation, or my generation, because I think that in the efforts of the TRC to create a country that is unified, we've often glossed over a lot of the things that we still benefit from as white South Africans.
Defensiveness is never a good approach in conflict resolution.
Now, the irony of commissions is that although they always look backwards, they always examine the past, as did South Africa's TRC, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, looked at the past. It is not about the past, it's about understanding the past, but it's fundamentally about the future that you want to create.
A lot of the frustration that's coming out in recent protests with roads must fall, with fees must fall, is that we still enjoy, as white South Africans, we still enjoy a lot of privilege that isn't really acknowledged and we don't really want to talk about.
As a university, we need to get to a point of reconciliation. There is no future without reconciliation.
If we cannot create a campus environment that's conducive to high-order creative thinking, then we're not going to remain a world-class African university.
We say we want to own property or land here, we say we want decent education and rights and schooling, whatever. We can't do that and step back and not be involved with anything.
From here on out, throughout the month of August and September, the IRTC is going to be listening. So my task is to hear the pain on both sides, but to also hear the genuine commitment to peace.
As a campus community, we should be open and willing to speak to the IRTC.
My perspective is pretty much, if you like it, come say something. If you don't like it, also come say what you think is wrong.
I think that it's important that as many people as possible can contribute or participate in this process.
I'm very happy that the IRTC has come on board, as we will then put in the groundwork which will then go into policy changing and legislature changing, so that there's actually a real change that we can all feel we are part of.
I want to encourage everyone to participate in the IRTC by making submission, by speaking out about the things that have been bothering you. I know lots of people, especially admin staff, the support staff, the ground staff, the staff that people don't see, staff that are cleaning, doing gardens and so on, secretaries that see a lot but are not seen.
The main drive then for the Black Academic Caucus is to ensure that the university builds a university academic staff complement that better represents the demographics of the country.
This is a very important moment to shed light on many of the structural issues that have been raised time and time again but never really addressed. Ultimately, this process will give birth to policy reform, and hopefully we're hoping that this policy reform is informed by people like you students who are on the ground.
I think it's very important for us to remember that it is not just the DVC transformation that's responsible for transformation. It's not only the VC, it's not the deans, it's not even the transformation committees. It is actually each and every one of us. If we are committed to ensuring that the academic project at UCT is successful, then we must all contribute to the change that we want to see.
We are getting closer to where we want to be with a set of recommendations that can help us get to where we all want.
We trust that everyone is going to come in, every voice needs to be heard. Whether you agree with what is happening or not, your voice will still be important.
I want to encourage people to speak up, speak out, so that we can take on board all these problems, because we begin with what are the issues and then we need to move to what are the solutions.
I'm here to talk to you about the Institutional Reconciliation and Transformation Commission, a commission that we set up as an institution to get us to move into our future.
The last few years have been difficult ones for most people at UCT.
We are standing right now at a moment of opportunity, a moment of rebuilding our institution.
We now have an opportunity of 5 respected high-level individuals who've agreed to help us.
We cannot move forward unless we all come together to reconcile.
In the spirit of trying to create this new inclusive identity for the university, it is important that as many of us participate as possible.
The IRTC is now at a point where they need to make consultations with the faculties. Doing that means that all of us are coming together to commit ourselves for the future.
This is it, the train is leaving. This is the conversation that we need to be having, and if we don't have it now, then when? When is going to be a better time?
Notice the dates and be there for these meetings so that as an institution we can say this is where we come from, this is where we want to be, and then start afresh working towards a sustainable future for UCT.